check out these beautiful floral dips that I just got from Gigi's Custom Dips. Now, it is a Canadian-based company, but I found that shipping was super quick and it didn't take for long to get them. I've ordered from her once before and I had the same experience. And as soon as I saw that she was releasing these floral dips, I knew I had to have them and I had to have all of them because they are just so beautiful. I am a sucker for flowers. And I love that these are actually larger pieces. So most of the other floral dips that I have are small flowers. So I like that they're unique, that they have the larger pieces. So I'm super excited to get into today's mani. And also, thank you for joining me. Welcome and welcome back. I'm Jeannie, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I work with these dips that have the larger floral pieces. As usual, I had a hard time deciding what dips I was going to use, but I decided I was going to use Azalea for my floral dip, and I'm going to pair that with Juicy, which is a shimmer color that I picked up with this order, and I'm going to pair it with Iris, which is a color that I actually had from my first order with Gigi's Custom Dips. And of course, I'm going to be using my double dipped dip liquids, which are some of my favorites. If you've watched me, you know that I love using these liquids. I have been eyeing Gigi's Custom Dips dip liquids. I know she has dip liquids, she has gels. They look really great. I've heard really great things about them. So eventually I do want to try them. But I also know I have a ton of gels and I have a ton of dip liquids and I need to stop buying them. But eventually I will try them. Let me know down below if you want to see a video on first impressions on her dip liquids or gels or both, and then maybe I can be convinced. So I'm starting with Iris because that's my only solid color, and that's going to go on my pinky and my thumb. I'm going to do my standard dipping process of 2 layers of the color and then cap and clear. I'm only going to show you 1 layer because I don't want to get repetitive, and plus I'm just really eager to get into the floral dip and show you that, and just wait till you see it. After I did my 2 layers of Iris, I went ahead and capped and clear using my double dipped clear. But having said that, I probably could have waited till cap all my nails and clear at the end, just because Juicy is a shimmer and Azalea, which is the flower dip, doesn't have any glitters on it, so I didn't really have to worry about contamination. So I capped Iris and clear, but I didn't end up activating it because I didn't really have to worry about any glitter contamination. And also, I want to mention, don't forget that I do have an affiliate code, Purplicious18, to use at Double Dipped if there's anything you want to grab from there. Next, I'm going to dip into Juicy, which is going to be on my middle finger as kind of an accent nail. And so Juicy is just so beautiful, and I feel like it pulls a little bit darker in the video, but this is kind of like a dark fuchsia color. I'd say it's like a purplish pink. It's not really as pink as some of the fuchsias, but it is gorgeous, and the shimmers in here are amazing, and this was super easy to work with. So this is going to be my normal dipping process of 2 layers of Juicy, but I'm only going to show you 1 because, like I said, I want to show you these flower dips. Just look at how beautiful Azalea is, even just in the jar. So this has multicolored flower pieces in it. So it's got like a brighter light pink. It's got some kind of darker red, maroonish type color, some purple. There's some green. It's just got multicolors, and it's just so beautiful. So this dip is in a milky white base for the dip, but you will notice that my nails do have a pink hint to them. So as my base for my nails, I do have a layer of builder gel on my nails to protect my natural nails. So this is Gwyn Builder Gel from West Coast Dips. So I kind of regret that I did it on these nails just because of the base being milky white and azalea. You can see the pink of my builder gel come through. So if it looks pink, it's not because of the dip, it's because of my builder gel. So if you were to dip this on clear nails, you would see that milky white base and you wouldn't see the pink that you see on my nails. And even in 2 layers, you could still kind of see that pink. But anyway, to my process, for my first layer, I'm just dipping in my normal dipping process. I will say that the flower, any kind of floral dips, they don't really stick when you're dipping. You can get smaller pieces, but they don't really stick well, and that's okay because when I do flower dips, I know that I'm going to do some placement after my full dips. So whatever sticks, I will leave it, but I'm not going to get any of the chunky pieces. I'm not going to get any of the bigger flowers. I'll just place them after I finish my 2 dips. So this is what I look like after 1 dip. And for my second dip, it's going to be the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and dip or kind of lay my finger flat in the jar, but I'm not expecting to pick up any larger pieces. So you can see after 2 dips, I didn't get a lot of pieces that picked up, and that's okay. I see a lot of people saying, I didn't pick up any of the flowers. What am I doing wrong? And it's not anything you're doing wrong. It's just the flowers are heavier and they're harder to pick up when you're dipping. So you have to expect to do some placement, which is super easy. So in order to do my flower placement, I applied a layer of dip base to my entire nail, and I find it easier to pick up with tweezers rather than trying to use like my orange wood stick because the flowers are heavier. So I pick up pieces of the flowers and I just place it on my nail where I want them while my dip base is still wet. So this purple piece, it is a little rolled up, so I do have to kind of flatten it out, but I do have time to do that. So you'll see this is all in real time, that my dip base gives me enough time to place the pieces that I want and kind of move them around before it fully dries on me. So that's what I love about using the double dipped dip base. It isn't fast drying, but it isn't super slow drying either, but I do have plenty of time to do any glitter placements or flower placements or whatever I need to do. So I find that this flower was a little too big. I didn't really want it there. I tried it, but I didn't really like it there. So I'm just going to take off pieces of that flower and just place little pieces of it rather than having the whole piece of flower. So that's what I like about doing my own placement, is I can make it look the way I want it to look, and the way I do it is not going to be the way you do it or anyone else does it. So it makes it a little bit unique. So I'm going to continue on placing on my index finger, and I'll do the same thing for my ring finger. So you can see after it's all said and done that my nails are uneven because the flowers are thicker. So you can see it's going to need quite some encapsulation, and you definitely want to make sure you're encapsulating these. So I debated using builder gel to encapsulate because that's generally what I like to use when I've got thicker things I need to encapsulate. And I don't generally like using multiple layers of clear, but I decided I would show you clear in this video. So I'm using clear dip to encapsulate, but one dip isn't going to be enough. It's still going to be a little too uneven to file and buff. So I'm going to actually do 2 layers of clear. And I will say, if you are doing multiple layers of clear, you need to make extra sure your clear is clear, clear, because the more layers you do, the more risk you have of it looking grainy or a little cloudy. So that's why I used my double dipped clear, because I know I trust it for multiple layers of clear and it could still be crystal clear. So I'm going to do my 1 layer of clear, and you'll notice that after I dip in clear that I press down, and that's because I want to make sure my clear gets into like all those little nooks and crannies like in between the flowers, just to make sure it's got like a good stable base. So that's my first layer, and you can see here it's still a little too uneven and I would file through the flowers if I tried filing. So I'm going to go in with a 2nd layer of clear, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a generous amount of dip base, dip in clear, and then I'm going to go ahead and press down just to make sure I'm filling in any cracks or nooks and crannies. The other thing that I'm going to do to help protect my flowers when I go to file and buff so I don't buff through them is going to be when I use my activator. So this is going to be similar to the hack for using chunky glitters. If you're not familiar with that hack, I will show you once I get to those nails. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my solid nails, or shimmer nails too, first to get those out of the way. So I'm going to apply a generous amount of activator to those nails. And then once I get to my index finger and ring finger, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 finger at a time. So I'm going to apply a generous amount of activator to my nail, and I want to make sure I'm applying a generous amount because I want to get through all those layers and make sure it penetrates through the flowers. And you can see my activator is wet. So as it starts to dry, when it starts looking matte, and timing is going to be important for this, I've got this baggie, so when it starts looking a little matte, starts looking like it's drying before it's fully dry, I'm going to take the baggie and I'm going to wrap that around the nail, and I'm going to press down. So that is, as the activator is drying, as you're pressing down, it's going to dry flatter. So I'm kind of rubbing it down, making sure I'm pressing down just to make sure it's drying flat. And this makes such a big difference when you're filing or trying to file and you have chunkier things, whether it's a glitter or florals. So you can see here how much flatter the nail is. And I love this trick. It works really well for chunky glitters. It works well for florals as well. So I'm going to do the same thing to my ring finger as well. So you can see here, it's still a little bit uneven, but this hack will help so much. So again, I'm going to apply a generous amount of activator to the nail. I want to make sure I've got enough on there to penetrate through all the layers. And then you don't want to go in straight away while your activator is still wet. So if it looks wet, don't go in, because your baggie will stick to, or your dip will stick to your baggie. It should be that way around. And you can pull off layers of your dip if you do it too soon. So it's just really finding that sweet spot of when you can go in and do this. So it's looking a little bit dry, so I'm doing a little test to see if my baggie's going to stick. And once I determine it's dry enough, I'm going to wrap my baggie around my nail, and I'm going to press down. I'm going to kind of rub my nail so that the flower dips are pressed down as much as possible while my activator is drying. Now, if your activator is fully dry, if you wait too long, then it won't really lay flat. So you just really have to find when it's almost dry, but not completely dry. And you can see here, I went in a little bit too soon, but not too soon where I pulled up dip, but you could see my baggie kind of stuck, and now you can see it's kind of laying flatter. So now I can safely go in and file and buff and not have to worry about impacting those flowers or filing through because they're just way too pretty. Oh, and just kidding. One thing I want to show you before I go in and file and buff is when I ordered from Gigi's Custom Dips, she included this beautiful nail file and buffer, which I thought was a really nice touch. So I wanted to leave this in here and show you how sweet it was that she included these in my package. Now for real, I'm going to go ahead and file and buff off camera. After a quick file and buff, here's how it's looking. So you can see the 2 layers of clear, and the activator trick really helped protect my flowers. So I didn't file through anything. Everything looks smooth and looks really beautiful. So I'm really excited about how this is turning out. And so now to get into top coat, I decided I'm going to use my double dipped gels for my top coat. So this is the gel base and the gel top coat. And these are both their Hema Free formula. I've always been a dip top coat girl. It's always been my favorite, but I don't know what's got into me lately, but I have been loving using gels lately for my top coat. So I'm going to go in with a layer of gel base first, and this is going to give my gel top coat something to adhere to prevent it from peeling. So a thin layer of gel base to all my nails. I'm going to cure it in my lamp for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with my gel top coat. So for my gel top coat, I'm going to cap my free edge first, and then I will apply my gel top coat and cure it for a full 60 seconds. And once that's fully cured, I'm of course going to rehydrate my cuticles. So I'm going to be using my scales of a Mermaid cuticle oil. This is the scent Wildflower, which is quickly one of my favorite scents. I absolutely love it. There's something really nostalgic about it for me, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it just gives me comfort. So here we are with the finished look. What do you think? I am obsessed with Azalea. All these floral dips I really love, so I can't wait to use the rest of them. But I just love the way this turned out and the way the colors paired together. Have you tried floral dips? I would love to know your opinions on them, or if you struggle with them, if this helped you at all, let me know down below in the comments. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.